Hare Krishna. So today we continue our discussion on Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka by Lord Chaitanya himself. Yesterday we started to discuss the 6th verse of Śikṣāṣṭaka. And yes, we mentioned it goes Nayanangalata Shrudharaya Vadanangad Gira Pulakar Nichitam Vapuhkada Tabanama Grahani Bhavishiti. It expresses deep longing for the Lord. Oh, when my eyes will be full of tears, and my voice will stuck in my throat. He expresses deep longing, and we explained that this deep longing is only possible when we first acquire certain qualities, certain intense meditation on the Lord. And we said that without absorption, there is no taste. No one can taste anything without absorption. We gave this example of eating in haste, that you cannot taste anything. So if you don't go deep in your chanting, if you are not absorbed in your chanting, you do other things during your chanting, you cannot taste anything. Yes, and to get really absorbed, we should realize first that we are not this body. And we hear so many times about this. But what this really means, that we realize that we are not this body, that we don't unnecessarily protect this body. And therefore Lord Chaitanya speaks this verse, Trinada Pisunichana Tarori Vasahishana Amanina Manadina Kirtanyakstahri. Because this protection is one of the most basic needs of conditioned life. Eating, sleeping, mating, and defending. Yes, or protecting. Because we want to our conditioned life is designed for material existence, and therefore we want to protect our material existence. Therefore, eating and sleeping cannot be avoided, and mating also, and protection. But here Lord Chaitanya stresses in this verse, and also Srila Prabhupada comments in this way, how we should learn to tolerate this humility, tolerance, not expecting respect, and giving respect. Everything is about defending, actually, of establishing us as the most our body, actually, our material existence, we want to establish as something really important for us and for the whole world to understand. Yes. So this is completely against our spiritual existence. So defending is so crucial to understand that we should try to avoid it by any means. This defending. Shri Radha Govinda Madhava ki jai, Shri Gaur Nitai ki jai, Shri Krishna Balaram ki jai, Nitai Gaur Pramanandi. So yes, and Prabhupada also in his commentary to Bhagavata-gita 13:8-12, these verses describe knowledge. Krishna explains knowledge to Arjuna in 13th chapter of Bhagavad-gita, verses 8 to 12. And there is kshanti, not shanti, we discussed this yesterday, but kshanti, or tolerance, or forbearance. And Prabhupada explains that this is also in this regard, in the same sense, how not to defend ourselves. That spiritual life means that we should tolerate insults and disrespect. And he gives example of Maharaj Prahlad, who was 5-year-old boy and was threatening his life. Actually, his own father wanted to kill him. But Prahlad didn't do anything for his own protection, actually. Yes. So yes, when we understand this, that we are not this body, therefore we don't try to defend it by any means, then we can really pray to the Lord in this, like Lord prays in 4th verse, Nadanam najanam nasundarim kavitam va jagatisha kamai mama janmani janmanishvari bhavatat bhakti rahaitukitvayi. Then I'm not concerned anymore about my material existence. If I'm born again and again, no problem. But only thing that I want, that I'm praying for, is ahaitiki bhakti, unconditional, unmotivated, loving bhakti. That I'm hankering for, that I'm praying for, that I'm dying for. Yes, that's all I want. I don't want anything else. Forget about these things that are pleasurable for the body and mind, like wealth, fame, the company of opposite sex, yes, and glory and power. All these are useless, especially if for ahaitiki bhakti, for pure devotional service. And actually, only ahaitiki bhakti can really satisfy one's heart, and nothing else. Everything else just agitates the heart and brings misery. Really. There is a poet, a Slovenian poet, most glorious poet in Slovenia. But I believe you didn't hear about him. But he wrote something very interesting. He wrote that it really puzzles me, or I didn't know how everything that heart wanted to be sweet turned out to be a poison. And in the same way, Krishna explains in Bhagavad-gita the happiness in passion. Yes. Vishayendriya samyogat yatata grimi vitophamam pariname vishameva tatsukam rajasansmritam. That what we perceive to be nectar at the beginning, and it's poison at the end, it's happiness in the mode of passion. Yes. So, actually, only pure devotional service is beyond the modes. And any mode can just bind us to material existence. So, devotee by any means tries to understand that my only existence is bhakti. My only existence is bhakti. And prays in this regard, because we are conditioned. We cannot easily free ourselves from conditioning. It's impossible, actually, for us to get free. And this is also confirmed by Krishna in 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. Devi Hesha Gunamayi Mama Maya Duratyaya Mam Eva Ye Prapadanti Maya Metantarantiti. It's impossible to get free. It's my Maya, it's Duratyaya. It's so powerful. So, Mam Eva, only if you surrender to me, you can go beyond it. And then he explains, and this verse, Ayi Nanda Tanuja Kinkaram, Patitamam Vishami Bhavam Buddho. Yes, Kripaya Tava Pada Pankajastita Dulista Drasham Vichita. I want to be only a speck of dust at your lotus feet. And we explained yesterday how this ocean of material existence, it's not that he wants liberation, because just in previous verse he explained that even if he is born again and again, no problem. But this ocean of material existence means my mind, my desires, my attachments to this world, this ocean of material existence, because they want to drag me away from you, from ahetuki bhakti, and therefore it's useless and very terrible, actually. So yes, and then only if we have such a disposition, we can pray Nayanam Galata Shudharaya, and then our only thing in our mind is Krishna. And then we want to have full-blown emotions for Krishna. Yes, because without emotions one cannot live. Either we have material emotions or we have spiritual emotions. And Lord Chaitanya expresses in this verse that he wants only spiritual emotions. And this is, of course, bhava, actually. And we explained how bhava cannot be attained without great attachment, asakti. Yes. Yes. Only then we can love something if we are terribly attached to something. If you are not attached, what is the question of love? Yes. Mother Yashoda is extremely attached to Krishna. She cannot live without seeing him for a moment, and he is going to the forest, is killing her. She wants every day to go with him, but somehow or other Krishna, by his power, able to convince her not to go. Yes, and gopis also cannot live without his presence even for a moment. No one actually in Vrindavan. So, great attachment. With great attachment we can love something. And we cannot be attached to something if we are not experiencing some taste, if it's not tasteful. Therefore, for asakti, for great attachment, ruchi is so needed. Yes. No, not possible to be attached if we don't experience great pleasure. You're not attached to something that makes you miserable, isn't it? It's impossible to be attached to something miserable. Yes. And as we explained just a few moments ago, we cannot taste anything if we are not absorbed, if we are not fixed. And this is nishtha. Yes. Without nishtha there is no ruchi. No one can taste anything without nishtha. Yes. Therefore, this is so important to go deep in our spiritual practice, because we all want to taste something. We are ananta mayobhya sat. We are always repeating this because it's so important to understand. We can see many devotees are chanting just to finish their rounds. And they do many things along with chanting, and conversing, and scrolling on their phones, and so many different things. This is not going deep in chanting. You will never go deep in your chanting if your approach will be like this. This is actually offensive approach, because chanting is most intimate relationship with the Lord we can have in this material world. Yes, there is no more intimate relationship, because Harinam Sankirtan that we perform together, it's not so private. But japa is most private, intimate relationship that we can possibly imagine. And you can imagine if a husband and a wife, or a lover and his beloved, have most intimate relationship, if someone will start to scroll his phone, it was terribly offensive. Yes, or try to converse over the phone with someone else. Yes, it's offensive. Or start to reading newspapers. Or something else. Whatever. Ironing. Yes, it's offensive. So we should understand how important it is to completely dedicate ourselves to chanting. Yes. That we consecrate the time for chanting. Yes. Otherwise, forget the taste. And if you forget the taste, no emotion will be genuine. Yes. Maybe we can force, maybe we are good actors, and we can force tears also. I don't know who explained this. I believe some sannyasi. That his sister was practicing crying. Because this crying is very good to have controlling her boyfriend. Yes, but these crocodile tears will not help. Actually, Prabhupada writes somewhere that these artificial tears will wash away all conclusions of the Vedas. Yes. So we shouldn't shed artificial tears. We should hanker for genuine tears, as Lord Chaitanya here prays in the 6th verse of Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka. And we discussed, yesterday we started to discuss different symptoms of bhava. And they are important because in the stage of bhava, although one may think I'm not in the stage of bhava, but on the stage of bhava they are natural, but should be practiced in the stage of sadhana, because our sadhya, or our goal, depends on our sadhana. The next, for those who weren't here, I will just name them. First is kshanti, patience or forbearance, and we discussed this, how we should tolerate difficulties, insults, even delay in spiritual progress, and so on and so forth. Yes, and threats and so on. And then the second is utilization of time, not wasting of time. How important it is. Yes. because in modern days, especially, even in previous days, no problem to be distracted. But modern days, yes, this is a way of life to be distracted all the time, especially with these phones and social media and so on. Yes, extreme distractors, ultimate distractor. The phone is ultimate distractor. So when you chant, switch off the phone. No sound should come out. Yes. And if you're tempted, lock it in another room. Yes. Because the phone is ultimate distractor. You should just go deep. Then the third one is virakti, detachment. And we explained how Lord Chaitanya himself said, Vairagya vidya nija bhakti-yoga, that we are naturally detached if we are devotees. But we explained that we are tatashta shakti. We can never be detached, absolutely. So either we'll be attached to Krishna, to spiritual energy, if we take shelter of spiritual energy of Srimati Radharani, or we will take shelter of Durga, of material energy. No possible to be independent, because we are tatashta shakti. By our very nature, we are not independent. We are either the influence of one or another. It cannot be both. And we mentioned how Lord Jesus Christ said that you cannot serve two masters. Either will serve one and despise the other. So important to be detached from matter. But in order to be detached, we should become attached to Radha and Krishna. And here you have beautiful deities of Radha and Krishna. So take advantage of them and get attached to them. And do whatever you do during the day with the thought that you do it for the pleasure of Radha Govinda Madhava. And you can picture them in your mind. Yes. Whatever you do, even when you take shower for their pleasure. Yes. Okay, this is virakti. And then we said mana shunyata, freedom from pride. And of course, we mentioned this, so we talked about a lot, because Trinada Pisunichana is based on this mana shunyata. But in this stage of bhava, it's completely natural, but on the stage of sadhana, it is not. Therefore, in the stage of sadhana should be practiced. But all of these practices that I mentioned, and these exercises that I mentioned, we should understand that shouldn't be independently performed. They should be as part of our devotion to Radha Govinda Madhava, to Radha Krishna. Should be as part of devotion. I do it because I want to develop deep love for you. I want to be pleasing to you. Not that I control myself like a jnani or some tapasvi. I'm tolerating all these insults with and gnashing my teeth and tolerating, but offending devotees in our mind. Yes. So no, we should have this in mind. I'm doing this just for your pleasure. Please help me to overcome my attachments to my honor. Yes. And now we'll go to the new these qualities. The next one is Asha Bandha, hope of or firm aspiration. We know many times hope that acharyas recommend us to hope against hope. Because what hope we can have? We just mentioned we cannot go beyond Maya on ourselves. It's not possible, completely impossible to go beyond Maya. So what hope we can have? We cannot force Krishna to give us bhakti. Krishna even himself, he says in 5th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, it is said that muktim dadati karhishit smana bhakti-yogam. He easily gives mukti, but not bhakti. Because bhakti is something really powerful. It's more powerful than Krishna himself. Yes. It's Shri Krishna Akarshini. That means Krishna is all attractive, attracts everything and everyone, helplessly. No one can withstand Krishna's attractive power. Not even ardent atheists. We mentioned this, that even most ardent atheists are helplessly attracted to Krishna only. But they are in illusion and they don't know this. Because Krishna says, whatever there is attractive, whatever there is charming, whatever is glorious, it's just a spark of my splendor. Yes. So everything that is attractive, even to atheists, is Krishna only. So Krishna is all attractive, but bhakti is Shri Krishna Karshini. Although Krishna is all attractive and attracts everything, bhakti has such a power that attracts him. Yes. So he's very cautious in giving away bhakti. So, yes. Therefore we can just hope against hope and cry. Yes. The next one is samutkanta, intense eagerness. Intense eagerness. For bhava it is natural, but for sadhana it is not. This intense eagerness. So we should hanker for intense eagerness. Yes. It is explained that we can enter Raganuga Bhakti only by lobha. Tat bhavati madhurye shrutatirata pikshati natra shastrim na yuktim sha tad lobhapati lakshanam. Yes. Only by lobha. Lobha means greed, but not material greed for a house or a car or anything like this, great wealth. No, but lobha for Krishna, for relationship with Krishna, with Radha and Krishna. Yes, such a lobha. We should develop this lobha, this eagerness, and as long as we don't have it, we should pray for it, hanker for it. Yes, intense eagerness. This intense is many times used. We mentioned Tivra Bhakti. Tivra Bhakti is the key for everything, and Tivra means intense. Yes, not that lukewarm bhakti will help. Lord Jesus said, you should be either cold or hot. If you are lukewarm, I will spit you out. So, you should understand that our bhakti should be intense. Even akama sarvakama va moksha kama udarati. Tivrena bhakti yogina yajita purusham param. Even if you are akama, completely without any desire, or A means Krishna, we explained this, because Krishna says, Aksharanam akarosmi in 10th chapter of Bhagavad-gita. So, amongst the letters, I'm letter A or A. So akama, although it can mean without the material desires, can mean also desiring Krishna, akama. Or we are sarvakama, full of material desires. Or moksha kama, we are desiring liberation. But our bhakti should be tivra. Tivra, in any case. Even if we consider that we are following the path of pure devotional service, our bhakti should be tivra. Remember this. And don't forget it. Yes. Intense bhakti. Intense. And then only we can hope against hope, and then only we can hope for eagerness. For eagerness. Yes. And therefore, we shouldn't stop by these 16 rounds. Yes. This is minimum. Prabhupada said minimum. And what is minimum doesn't mean maximum. Yes. So, try to increase. Try to increase. Try to increase your time with Krishna. Yes. Try to fill all your time with Krishna. But definitely try to increase chanting. Because Harir Nama, Harir Nama, Harir Namaiva Kevalam, Kalo Nastiva, Nastiva, Nastiva Gatiraneta. In the age of Kali, there is no other way of attaining any spiritual progress and any spiritual connection without chanting. Even other processes of devotional service, it is explained by Jiva Goswami in Bhakti Sandarbha, and also I believe in Kram Sandarbha, that that every spiritual activity should be accompanied in the age of Kali by chanting of the holy names. Even when we are worshipping the deities, when we are honoring prasad, or remembering Krishna, or whatever you can think of, it should be accompanied by chanting of the holy names. So yes, go deep, make your bhakti intense, and then you can hope for eagerness, and only by eagerness we can really progress. Yes. Otherwise, this lukewarm approach is so common in religion, in any religion. And devotees are no exception. So don't be one of lukewarm devotees. Yeah. I remember 25 years ago or something, there was a summer camp in Croatia, and there was a lecture by Shachinandana Maharaj, and he said, "My dear devotees, majority of you will not be here after a few years." This was a shocking statement, but he was true.
That was offensive.
Sorry?
That was offensive.
I don't know. Maybe realistic. Yes, maybe. I hope it wasn't a curse. So yes, if we are lukewarm, then we'll not get the taste. And if we don't have the taste, we'll try to search it out somewhere else. Yes. Because then it becomes botheration, this chanting so long time. 16 rounds. Seems like the whole eternity. Yes. If you don't have any taste, then it's extreme suffering. And no one wants to suffer. So we should go deep. So we should intensify our bhakti. That's so important, why we should go deep. If we'll stay on the surface, no taste will come. Yes, don't stay on the surface. Okay, this is eagerness. Then 7th is namagane sadaruchi. Constant taste for chanting of the holy name. We just explain this. Of course, even if we try to go deep and intensify our devotional service, and it's nature of Krishna actually that he's playing with us. He reveals himself and then he disappears. Yes, this is his nature. No one can change his nature. Yes. So you will all experience this. Is there anyone who didn't experience this? This once you can taste the holy name and the next day you cannot taste it anymore. You always experience the taste? No, never. Yes. And also Christians, they say, maybe you have heard this expression of desert. Have you heard of spiritual desert?
Yes.
Yes. That you have, and they. This is a example when the chosen people from of Israel went out of slavery from Egypt. They went through the desert, and they were going through the desert to the promised land for 40 years, which is very astonishing because this desert is not so vast. And even if they would make half a kilometer by day, they would reach it in 1 year at least. But they were wandering around this desert for 40 years. So this can be example for our spiritual life. This is going out of slavery to the promised land, or promised land of pure bhakti, can take us for 40 years. Yes. Or Lord Chaitanya will pray in next verse, 12 years or more, you guide them the mission. But yes, if we are eager, we can conquer these times of desert in our heart. But if we are staying on the surface, if we are superficial and lukewarm in our devotional service, then these times of desert will just pull us back to tasting material pleasures. Yes, because we want to taste something. We are living entities of pleasure. We want to taste pleasure. We cannot live without pleasure. Yes. It's so important to understand this. So, and try to, of course, take pleasure in chanting. Yes, not in other things. Yes, even if you love to do some service to Krishna, still you should understand pleasure in chanting is most important. That means that, of course, you should do this service that makes you happy, but never neglect chanting. Never neglect chanting. Yes, go deep in your chanting. This is your only means to really connect deeply with Krishna. The next one is asakti gunakyane, attachment to hearing and narrating Krishna's qualities. Yes, be attached to hearing Krishna Katha. Yes, come to classes regularly, even if new bhakta gives class. Still, we should be attached to Krishna Katha. Yatridante katamrishta strishnayah prashamoyanata. Nirvairam yatra utrishu nodvego yatra kashchana. It is explained in 4th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam that this taste for hearing mitigates every distress. Yes. And we know the taste for hearing is the beginning of our life, spiritual life, actually. Taste for hearing. And Krishna himself will be extremely satisfied if we hear and chant his glories. It is explained, Shrimvatak Svakatam Krishna, Punya Shravana Kirtana, Hridyantak Stohya Bhadrani Vidunoti Suhritsatam. Krishna is dwelling in everyone's heart. And if he see our eagerness to hear and chant, he'll be so satisfied that he himself will purify our heart. Because we mentioned that it's impossible to give up material attachments on our own, because material energy is so powerful, much more powerful than we are. So, therefore, Krishna himself will cleanse our heart. It's not possible for us to cleanse our heart. Therefore, even in Śrī Śikṣāṣṭaka it's mentioned, Chaito Darpana Marjatam. Krishna is the one who is cleaning the heart. The holy name is Krishna himself. It's not us. Yes, I'm doing it. With my chanting, I'm cleaning my heart. No. Krishna is cleaning your heart when you chant with proper attitude. Yes. And then he cleanses when he's satisfied. From within your heart, because he's in your heart, he will cleanse your heart. Then the next one is Spritihtat Vasatistale, affection for Krishna's abodes. Yes. And therefore, it is mentioned by Rupa Goswami that one should live in Vrindavan. One should live in Vrindavan. Yes. And if one is not able to physically live in Vrindavan, one should mentally live in Vrindavan. Yes. And constantly hear about Krishna. Therefore, it's so important to constantly hear Srimad Bhagavatam. This is one of the items of Raganuga Bhakti also. Constantly hearing of Srimad Bhagavatam. It's explained by Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur in his Ragavartma Chandrika. And especially Krishna Lila. But we cannot understand Krishna Lila without going through the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then we will take it as some pleasurable love story. And misunderstand Krishna. But we shouldn't misunderstand Krishna. We should properly understand Krishna. Therefore, Shukadeva Goswami first explained the first 9 cantos of Srimad Bhagavatam. So, read Bhagavatam daily. Read Bhagavad Gita daily. And read Chaitanya Charitamrita daily. Yes? And read also other things. Daily. Yes. One should be attached to hearing Krishna Katha. Yes, Prabhupada once mentioned 3 hours at least of reading. Yes. But even if you don't read 3 hours, you should devote every day for hearing, and that means reading, and also hearing classes. Both is needed. Both is needed. Yes. So this is 9 items of Bhava Bhakti, symptoms of Bhava Bhakti. And this living in Vrindavan, we didn't mention much. But yes, wherever there is Krishna Katha, there is Vrindavan. Where there is worship of Krishna, there is Vrindavan. Wherever there is chanting of the holy name with this consciousness, there is Vrindavan. But we should also hear about Vrindavan and hear pastimes of Radha and Krishna in Vrindavan. And then we can dwell in Vrindavan, and our consciousness can be permeated with Vrindavan. And then we can hanker for Vrindavan. Then we can take mental bath in Radha Kunda. Yes, every day. And this is recommended, to take bath in Radha Kunda. Yes. So we should take it seriously. It's not just something written there. Rupa Goswami didn't have some quota to fulfill how much he has to write. And then he was wondering what to write. Okay, about Radha Kunda. So yes, we should take it seriously. And then we can hope for intimate connection in our heart with Radha and Krishna. And this is actually what we want to achieve, isn't it? That's why we are here. But if we don't go deep in our chanting, it's not possible. It's not possible. So I invite you to go deep and to reject all distractions. All distractions. Hare Krishna. Is there any question or comment or doubt? Yes, please.
Thank you for your amazing class. You were talking about not wasting time. I was just wondering, how can we, sometimes when we have exchanges with devotees, how can we know that we are wasting time with this devotee or not?
Our time should be dedicated to service. And if our relationship with devotees are facilitating this service, that means not wasting time. Or if we deepening our loving relationship with a devotee, of course with Krishna in the center, not about, I don't know, latest gossip, then it's not wasting time. But just, and we can of course also go together in nature and have some activities together, no problem. especially if we discuss Krishna. But wasting time, gossiping is most dangerous type of wasting time. And it's so common, this gossiping. No one can withstand it. It's so tasteful. It's so common that there was once I read in newspapers 30 years or even more ago. There was one Catholic bishop from South America who wrote that, or said, I don't know, or both, that this gossiping is so natural that it shouldn't be counted as a sin anymore in Catholic Church. That no one can avoid it. So it shouldn't be counted as a sin anymore. Yes. But we should know that this prajalpa, gossiping especially, is detrimental for our spiritual life because it's offensive. And we are responsible for our words. In Kali Yuga, we are not responsible for our thoughts because it's completely out of our control. But words should be our control, under our control. So don't engage in gossip. Be careful about gossiping. It's detrimental. Hare Krishna. You wanted to ask something?
Yes, but thank you for lecture. You mentioned about sometimes we have more taste for chanting or no taste or less taste. So what we can do or what we shouldn't do to keep this taste?
Yes, very good question. We should cry.
What we shouldn't do?
We should cry because it's not under our control. Because it's Krishna. And Krishna is dancing with gopis and then he disappears. And what do the gopis do? They search for Krishna and crying and calling Krishna's names. So we should show our eagerness to Krishna and our determination that we worship Him with His holy names, we'll chant His holy names no matter what. And that we'll chant with all our eagerness and in proper way. That means that we don't do anything else during our chanting. That we just focus on chanting. Even if we walk here and there, which is not recommended, by the way. But if we are not able not to walk during our chanting, don't look around. Because this looking around is just a distraction, actually. Then we go from one window to another. Or we look this and that, and we turn around one thing and another thing, if we walk around. So if we cannot just sit, if we fall asleep, if we sit, then focus on the tip of your nose during your walking, and just be careful not to fall over. Yes. Yes. So if you have such an attitude towards chanting, then when the taste will go, you should just pray for Krishna. Please, Krishna, help me. I'm helpless. I'm helpless. I cannot focus. I cannot taste anything. But Krishna, I want only you. I don't want anything else. Please help me. I'm taking shelter only of you. If we'll have such a disposition, Krishna will definitely help us. Yes. Otherwise, we'll just try to finish our rounds. Yes, and the result will be the rounds will be finished. And this will be the whole result of our chanting. Hare Krishna. Anything else? Yes.
So I think it's somewhere, I'm not sure who said it, but we should be afraid to forget Krishna or something like that. And I sometimes have the problem, or a lot actually. I feel like I'm neglective, and I think like, oh, okay, yeah, I won't forget him, and I'll remember anyway. So, and I it's just like I'm not really afraid. So how to deal with that? I don't know.
With not being afraid to forget Krishna.
Like that.
By constant practice. Therefore, we chant a certain amount of rounds. Otherwise, if there will be not prescribed rounds, you will think, yes, I'm connected, I'm chant here and there, and that will be it. So, when we try to go deep in our chanting, then we'll also realize how important it is to always remember Krishna. Yes. Because everything what we do actually is meant for remembering Krishna. Smartavyak satatam Vishnur vismartavya na chaturchit. Sarve vidhi nishridaksyoreta iva kinkara. Actually, any instruction or any prohibition, because Shastras are full of yama and niyama, instructions and prohibitions. Even 10 commandments in the Bible, some are instructions and some are prohibitions. For example, have faith in one God is injunction. And do not steal is prohibition. So all these different injunctions of the Shastra and different prohibitions of Shastra are just servants of one instruction and one prohibition. And this one instruction is to always remember Krishna. And the only prohibition is never forget him. Yes. So when you chant deeply, then you will realize how important it is to always remember Krishna. And especially if you do these exercises that I mentioned, that we can meditate how I do everything in my day. When I get up, I first offer my obeisance to my Guru and Radha Govinda Madhava, if you're resident of this place. And then take shower for their pleasure. And you're the sound master and technical person, so whatever you do, you can do it with this meditation that I'm doing it for the pleasure. If you have always the picture in your mind when you do different things, with this meditation I'm doing this for you, then you will definitely be always connected, and you will try to remember them more, because you'll not be able to constantly think of them if you are not on a level of bhava, or at least asakti. For asakti is mentioned that already on the level of asakti, our attachment to Krishna is so great that even when we do something material, that we are forced to focus on something material, we have some obligation or anything, unperceivable, that we don't even notice, our mind goes to Krishna. On lesser stages, we try to focus on Krishna, and unperceivable, we don't even notice our mind goes to material things. But on level of Asakti is other way around. So it should be your practice. It cannot be just automatically that will happen. It should be your conscious practice. Hare Krishna. You wanted to say?
Yeah, actually it seems like in the beginning someone might do everything he does to go back to Godhead. And if you don't understand that this land is the land of service, it can really be similar to desire for liberation.
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It's not similar.
Yeah. So actually the real goal is just prem.
Yes.
Prem.
Yes, exactly.
And then if our love for him is unconditional, then his love for us also will be unconditional.
Yes. Yes. Yeta mam pratvadanti tam stateva pachamaham. As one surrenders to me, I serve him accordingly. So, although he has unconditional love for us, for every living entity already, but he will respond. Now he doesn't want to respond because our relationship is not deep. Therefore, his relationship with us is also not deep. Yes. Yes, please.
It may be a silly question. We are in front of Radha Govinda Madhava. We know this is it's the divine couple, and they have a relationship they have a divine relationship, and the Goswami have introduced by their books to this relation.
I didn't hear you. What?
The Goswami have described the relationship of the divine couple, the pastimes.
Yes.
But when we stand before Krishna Balaram, what we meditate upon?
When we stand in front of Krishna and Balaram, yes, Krishna and Balaram are both Supreme Lords. But it is described by Raghunath Das Goswami in his prayer Vishakananda da Stotra, Sukata Stotra, that Balaram is very much revered by Srimati Radharani from the distance. And of course, Balaram looks upon her as she would be his sister-in-law, but very respectful also from distance. But we also should know that Balaram is assisting Krishna in every way possible. So he always assists them in their most intimate pastimes as as Ananga Manjari. Yes. So he expands as Ananga Manjari to assist Radha and Krishna in their love play. So we can meditate in whatever form or way we would like to meditate. So Balaram is there to support Krishna in every regard. He expands a spiritual world for Lord's pleasure. Actually, He's Krishna himself who expands further through Balaram for his enjoyment. Yes. So we can perceive Balaram in this way, how everything, his life is meant for Krishna's pleasure. So he teaches us, therefore he's Adi Guru. And Radharani is also Adi Guru. Both are Adi Gurus. How to please Krishna. How to please Krishna. So you can turn to Balaram with this prayer. Please help me engage in the service of Radha and Krishna. Yes. It is mentioned by Narottam Das Thakur that without mercy of Nityananda, who is Balaram, and we have also Nityananda here, one cannot achieve service of Radha and Krishna. Yes. So we should take shelter of Krishna, Balaram, and Gauranitai with this prayerful mood for intimate service to Radha and Krishna. Hare Krishna. Thank you very much. Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai, Śrī Śikṣāṣṭakam ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.